Howdy, Space Rangers, Captain Phoenix here. Today we are having a new video, finally, a new review. So we're talking about the new Netflix show, Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beast Season 3, the third and final season. For those who don't know about Kipo, I would ask you to go and watch my two previous videos. Not my two previous videos, but a video I made before this where I review both season 1 and 2. I'll leave the link in the description. You can go check that video out and say what you think about it. But yeah, so that's for people who don't know what Kipo is. I'm not feeling like explaining it again. So for all those who don't know, please go check out the former video I made on this where I review the first 2 seasons. Link in the description. Alright, let's get on with today's video where we review Season 3. But before I get into that, I might as well say that this video is sponsored by Zeitum Care. That's right. Zeitum Care is a company that takes care of all your healthcare needs. All you need to do is, if you got a relative who's sick, or there's not one who's sick and you need to make them sick, then you call these guys right away. They'll come or send a nurse to come take care of your relative. Oh, Nana, are you sick? Yes, my child. I think I'm under the weather. Under pressure. Oh, under weather, you mean? Yeah, I'll get you a nanny. Hello, is this Zeitum Care? Yeah, they're on their way right now, Nana. Boom! Nurse comes in, takes care of your Nana, and all they ask for is a small fee for doing it. And that's what Zeitum Care does. They come take care of you and your relatives if they're sick, and all they ask for is a small fee in exchange. You know, they heal you, you pay them. So that's Zeitum Care. They are a very warm group of people. They just want to help, especially considering these trying times. No one should ever say that anymore. Say during these corona times, or just 2020 full stop. These people are here to come and help you with all your healthcare needs, again during this 2020 time, which is crazy, to come take care of you if you're sick or if your relatives are sick, and they all come together they all send a nurse to come in and help you. And yeah, that's about it. So again, more on Zeitum Care at the end of the video. There's a link in the description and stuff. And they did ask me to play an ad for them, so at the end of this video there will be an ad. There'll be more on that in the video, and again, stuff in the description. I will leave that there for you. Alright, on with the video. So we are talking about Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beast Season 3. What did I think about it? Well, I just gotta say a few things. For one, this season to me is not this season. This show to me is crazy. The entire show aired in 1 year, just 1 year. Because I remember the first season came out in January, the second season came out in June, and the third season came out, well, in October. An entire show already in 1 year. So Netflix just released the third and final season about a week ago, I think. And I just finished binge watching it, and I figured might as well give my thoughts on it, on how far the show has come and such. And you know, I gotta say, out of all the shows to come out in 2020, this is probably the one that needed to come out most in 2020, or just the one that had the funniest timing, because this show takes place in the year 2220, meaning it takes place 200 years from now in the future. And apparently the reason why all animals are like this is because, well, okay, from what I can piece together, not official, but from what I can piece together, the reason the animals are like this is because of a virus that broke out, or at least some liquid broke out and infected the animals, and because of that, all the animals started mutating. Either way, the event that took place was called the Great Mutant Outbreak, and because it was called the Great Mutant Outbreak, it makes me think, this year we had a corona outbreak, and we're in the middle of a pandemic. Ain't that something funny? So I just find that hilarious that this show, of all things, is talking about the Great Mutant Outbreak, and it came out in 2020. Like, the timing could not have been more perfect. Yeah, so I guess one of the questions I would have to ask is one of the questions I will be asking is, how does Season 3 compare to the rest of the series? I guess it would be kind of hard to do that, considering that each season has a sort of different theme to it. Season 1 is more of a mystery season, Season 2 is more of an adventure season, and then Season 3 is more of like a wrap everything up season. But I can say in terms of overall story, I kind of like Season 3 more, even though like the big battle was at the end of 2, 3 had more of like that closing battle, and which I really liked. I actually kind of like low-key like that. What else would I say about the show? Yes, okay, so spoiler alert, this season ends with like a 5 years in the future thing. Like we get to see what happens at the end of the story. What I really liked about it was that like we get to see everyone together, all grown up, all that stuff. You know what we do there. I feel like this show would have been one of those shows that benefited with having the main character die. Kipo didn't die, but I feel like it would have been interesting if she died. That way we as the audience get to see what she died for. Like we get to see the future she died trying to create in the future, you know, like the future she died trying to create, and that her sacrifice wasn't in vain. But you know, we live, you live, you learn. Also, another thing I really like about this season is the consequences. I really like how once there's an animal who has been demuted, they say in the show it's been cured. Once there's an animal that's been cured, they stay cured. They don't go back to being a mutant. There's no serum that turns them back into a mutant. So I like those lasting consequences. It shows that the show is taking itself seriously, and it's willing to turn some and it's willing to get rid of some characters in order to have lasting consequences, which again I do appreciate. So in my eyes, I guess it works. I guess we would have to talk about the characters then to see how they carry the show. The characters are like alright. It's a bit weird this time, because if you remember in my previous video I mentioned my favorite characters were like Jamark and Benson, but for some reason in this season they got like pushed back. Like what do you call it, not really pushed back, but more like they didn't get as much screen time. So with what do you say, with Benson, he didn't get as much screen time as he did in the former 2 seasons. Jamark also got sidelined. Instead, my favorites this season were Kipo and Wolf. Whereas in my previous video, I mentioned how I did not like Kipo at all because she was so cheery and happy all the time. And surprisingly, I liked her a lot in this season. It's as if the writers actually heard my complaints about her and they're like, yeah, you know, let's change her up a bit. So I really liked her in this season. She really did work well for me. Wolf is also a character I really like, and I really liked her arc especially because in the first 2 seasons she was all about being ruthless and saying you can't trust anyone. And in this season, she's more of that character of, how should I say, like, she's more in that mindset of Kipo's, where she doesn't forgive her past enemies, but she does want to try and make them better people. And I'm like, I can actually see her character growing. Whereas for other characters, it's not like so much that they change and, you know, that it's a big switcheroony for me. But, like, whatever. So, yeah. What other characters would I say have grown for me in the future? I don't know. Oh right, the song Kipo's mom. So Kipo's mom, if you didn't know, was like a mega monkey, and this season she goes back into being human. Which when she went back to being human, that was a really emotional scene. However, the entire episode where she was a human was kind of cringy, to be honest with you. I'm not even gonna lie, it was really cringy. So there was that. Overall, the characters were alright. I didn't mind them. Dr. Emilia was also the villain of this season. I really like how we got a human villain, and then she keeps saying mutes are monsters, you know, mutants are bad, and really we get to see her, a human, is really the worst monster of them all. She's even more vicious than Scarlet Main, and I really like that. So I like how she was the villain. We got to see more of her character, and man, can I just say, this lady is a psychopath. Like, she crazy, man. That's insane. What else do I want to mention about in this season is I've already talked about the characters. I've already talked about the story. The story is that Dr. Emilia wants to turn all mutants into regular animals, and again, I do like the consequences of that. I like how all mutants don't immediately get turned back into mutants. They go into animal and they stay as animal. Lasting consequences like that. The animation, again, I think the writers did hear my complaints last time. The animation in this season is so much better than what it was in seasons 1 and 2. Again, in seasons 1 and 2, most of the scenes took place at night, and the coloring just made it look ugly. I know maybe that's what do you say, that's a bit objective, like that's more opinion based, but I don't know, the scenes at night to me just did not look that good. And so I'm glad season 3 had most of its scenes take place during the day, because it looked so much better. Oh my god, it looked so much better. So the coloring, yeah, the coloring worked in that aspect. What else would I say I like this season about? The finale was really good. I really liked the last episode. I also like the jump to 5 years in the future. Oh, there was also Scarlet Main. Yeah, let's talk about him. By the way, this footage isn't mine. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. description in case for those who are interested. Yeah, so Scarlet Main is just one of those villains I kind of liked in the first 2 seasons. Then in season 3, I feel like he really shined through in season 3 because we get to see his character grow, and instead of changing to be a good guy in 1 episode, he actually grows as a character throughout the rest of the season. And in the final episode, he dies. It wasn't as emotional as I thought it was gonna be, but he dies, and it's so sad. So there was that. I do like the push. I do like the message of the season in that everyone is human and that we have to accept people from different backgrounds. Really like that message. And what was this? And we can build a new world together. I really like that message. Let's build a new world together, even though the old one isn't there anymore. I guess that's about it for what I have to say about this season. The only problems I would have with it are some of the inconsistencies. For example, in this world, it seems that only animals have become mutants. And so the thing that kind of drives me off is Fun Gus. I probably should have mentioned this since he was mostly prominent in season 2. But apparently Fun Gus was apparently a child who got mixed with a fungus and he grows over time. The problem I have with him is that, like, he seems to be originally human. How does that make sense? How is he even existing? What the heck is his backstory? He's the one mutant that truly horrified me. Like, he's so creepy to me. And the fact that he even deleted Emilia in the end, that was extra creepy. But that's what confuses me about Fun Gus, is that, like, what really is his backstory? You know, like, what's his whole deal? I don't know. I really wish the show went out of its way to explain that, but I don't know. Then there was the whole how did mutes come to be, or like how they were animals from the start. Really wish they also explained that, but you know, I guess we did kind of get it from Dave's perspective. I just wish they kind of explained, was it a virus or something like that. Also, Wolf, I want to go back to Wolf. I'm glad she got rid of her wolf skin jacket and she got her own identity. I really like how she finally got away from the jacket and got her own identity. She's like, you know, I don't need to be defined by this wolf anymore. I don't need to hold on to my past. It really shows how many lives Kipo has changed. And actually, I want to talk about Kipo for a second. I want to talk about how she never broke the rules in this season. She always stuck to her values and morals. Never once did she deviate. And even when she tried to deviate, her friends had to talk her out of it because she was going to make a big mistake. So what I really like about Kipo in this season is that she always stuck to her morals. She was always headstrong and never once deviated at all. I really do like that about her. What else can I say that she did really well? I really do like she never broke the rules. While Emilia broke every rule in the book and tried to always get away sneakily, Kipo never broke the rules in the book. She never did wrong, and I don't know, in this season she really works well for me. Because she always stuck by her standards and morals, I feel like she honestly grew as a character, in my opinion, and therefore makes her way better than where she started off in season 1. And honestly, it kind of feels like a long story coming to an end. This series honestly feels like a series that was supposed to be told in a year instead of over a few years. Yeah, so that's all I gotta say, I guess. Again, I really love Kipo's compassion. I really love how, again, she always changes the people around her by just showing compassion. If she showed violence, the things would have gone very differently. And I really like this show for even subtly showing that even the smallest of actions can cause the biggest of reactions. I really love that. I really love the message that this season was showing, that the smallest of things can cause the biggest of changes. And it's not just this season, but the entirety of the series as a whole. So I really did like that. So yeah, that's mostly what I gotta say about it. And again, with Kipo, because she showed compassion to everyone, she changed their lives so much. And the fact that she never once broke the rules, I'm cool with that, man. I'm cool with that. All in all I gotta say for Kipo season 3 was that it was an amazing conclusion. I feel like this is a great way to finish the show. The show in its entirety, I would say it's a pretty good show. Not great. I would say overall I would give the show like a 7 out of 10. But for season 3 on its own, I feel like it was not only an amazing conclusion to the show, but it was a beautiful ending to just anything period. Like, if you want to end a show or series, this is the perfect way to do it. And therefore, I would give Kipo Season 3 an 8 out of 10. It worked really well on so many levels, and it finally hit that high for me. You see, for the other seasons, there was this level they couldn't reach. Like, there was always this bar they set for themselves that they just couldn't reach. For Season 3, I feel like it blew it out of the water. It exceeded its expectations, and for me, that's why I like Season 3 so much. It is hands down the best season of the show. Yeah, we get our 1 or 2 filler episodes there, and yeah, we get our wrong inconsistencies here and there, but overall, I really do like it. I really like how it leaves things open to the imagination, and I really love the heartwarming conclusion we got in the end. Overall, again, an 8 out of 10, and all I gotta say for Kipo Season 3 is go watch it. Go watch this show.